Yeah, we can do that. Yep. As soon as people fill in and they get checked in, we can do a quick intro. We definitely want to thank everybody for showing up. You know, the last Wednesday of summer before Labor Day weekend. So I think you made a good decision by being here tonight. And hopefully you'll enjoy the presentation. So we'll be starting up very shortly.
Hi, Brenda. I'm not sure if you want me to go.
No, Charles is going to say something and then I'll introduce you.
Okay.
Martina, do you have anybody else that you're checking in, or is everybody pretty much in at this point?
Yes, all good.
Okay, well, we want to thank everybody for joining tonight. So we have a joint meeting of the NC RIA and the UC RIA. It's the multifamily commercial subgroup, and we have a wonderful speaker tonight. So I'm going to turn it over to my co-host Brenda, who's going to intro our speaker. Brenda, go for it.
Hi, thank you. So tonight we have Bibi Ofiri, and Bibi, thank you so much for joining us. So Bibi is the Chief Operating Officer at Blue Ocean Equity LLC. It's a prominent multifamily real estate investment firm. She has extensive experience in multifamily investments. Bibi has been involved in over 1,129 units, more than $100 million in multifamily transactions and triple net investments. She also has successfully flipped 24 units, showcasing her expertise in both active and passive real estate strategies. Bibi holds a master's degree in information systems with a specialization in cybersecurity, alongside a bachelor's degree in project management technology. This blend of technical expertise and strategic management skills empowers her to drive business performance and achieve successful outcomes in real estate investments. With over 14 years of experience in property and asset management, Bibi has developed a strong foundation in technical analysis, underwriting, and business operations. She is a mentor and an active participant in the Michael Blanc Mastermind and serves as an asset management trainer within the Multifamily Freedom Chasers group. Outside of her professional endeavors, Bibi is a dedicated entrepreneur known for her relentless work ethic and commitment to empowering others. She's also the co-author of 2 Amazon bestsellers, Powerful Female Immigrants and Real Women in Real Estate, further solidifying her reputation as a thought leader and advocate for success in the real estate industry. Bibi is deeply committed to her faith, family, and giving back to the community. To learn more about her work, and I have a link if you guys want to, anybody wants to know more about Bibi, please reach out to either Charles or I, and we can send you to her Linktree information. And that's it. So Bibi, if you're ready.
Hello, everyone. I'm super excited to be here. I don't know, can you guys hear me very well?
Yes.
Don't worry, I have an accent, but just listen, you will hear me. Okay. Thank you for the profile, but really, Bibi is just a regular person, and I was opportune to start from ground zero. And this is why the topic today is very, very interesting for me. And the topic is how to build wealth through multifamily investing. It's very important because I see myself as the perfect case study, because I started from zero to nothing. I immigrated from my home country is Nigeria, and I literally came here not with the intention to stay, but because to give better healthcare to my daughter. While I was going through the process, she almost died, and I was left to stay here because she needed more attention. So that was how my life turned 360. I thought that was all, but truth be told, that was just the beginning of my troubles. My parents have been in the US for over 32 years, and my dad died. After he died, we lost four of his properties, you know. So those properties now, they are worth over more than $1 million. That would have been the perfect story for any of us that were kids, that our parents were going to hand over to us millions of dollars of assets. At least that would have been a very good leverage for us to build wealth. But everything went down the drain. The last one, because I wasn't here at the time when my mom lost two of them. She did a short sale and she lost two. Remaining two, one was a church, because I'm from a missionary home. The last one was her primary residence, and she was owing the bank because she could not pay. And they sent a letter, and she didn't tell me. I was pregnant with my daughter, and I went to the door, and the sheriff handed over to me a letter saying, "We are foreclosing this place in 1 month. A key for cash. That is, hand over your key for in exchange of $5,000. And I was just like stunned. I was like, I don't understand. What's going on here? And I went to meet my mom. I said, Mom, you didn't tell us we were going through this. And she said she didn't know how to say it to us, and that she felt that we're going to be disappointed with her, that she has lost two already, and losing this one would have been very devastating. So she didn't want to tell us. And since I was new, I literally did not know my way around so many things in the US. I just flowed through it. While I was in between, 2 weeks after that happened, I was in the hospital to give birth to my baby, and I was faced with foreclosure. So everything was just against me. And I was in the hospital for more than a month. My daughter she was breathing 2%. 92% was supported by oxygen. Everything was bad. My mom, I was going back home to go pack her things into the boxes. And where were we going to go? Because she didn't have money. And we only had the $5,000 that was given to us, which we were supposed to use to get the towing vehicle, do some things to that. So we literally moved to the church. So we were homeless for 2 years, and we were there. There was no bathroom. We had to buy this big bucket. I don't know how we call it, a bowl. We were having our baths in it for 3 months before we were able to raise some little monies, and we were able to renovate and get a bathroom and a toilet. So that's why I'm saying I'm the perfect example, because I started from -0, not even zero. For me, I didn't have the leverage that some of you will have. Some of you have W2. Regardless, even if you're earning not so much, it was still better than how I started. So for me to get to where I am now, and I still have a lot of dreams, there's no reason why you guys should not even surpass your expectation. So my aim today is to ensure that I motivate you to stop or to get out of the status quo. There's no room for you to be where you are. You have to motivate yourself and take yourself out of the status quo, because it is possible. Although, let me be sincere, it's blood, sweat, and tears. You must put in the work. You must sweat it out. You must put in the blood, and you cry at times, because I cry every time. I cry sometimes. So you have to put in the job. It's not going to come on a platter. But what can you do in exchange to have that wealth that will give you legacy for your kids? So the idea is getting the wealth and properly transferring it to your kids. That's the legacy I'm building, because my parents created the wealth, my dad created the wealth, but the transition was poorly done and we started from ground zero. But that's not the goal. So today I'm going to talk about how, sorry, I'm going through my phone. So today I want to I'm going to talk about the clear path to financial freedom, how you can start. There is no one single way or one way, it's not a one-way traffic, how for you to come into the multifamily space. Anybody and everyone can literally do it. So what I just told you guys was part one of my drama. The part two of my drama was that I had to pick up many jobs. And one of the days I went to look for a security job. This girl has done security job, has cleaned toilet, has done all sorts of, I would call it dirty jobs in quotes. And looking at that, why I was going there to look for a third job, because I was looking for 3 jobs, because I was still going to school, because where I'm from, education is very important. So I felt that was the way. And some of us might have felt that way, that when I have my master's or I have my college degree, that's the way. No, that's a slower way, because the way to financial freedom, you can either decide to crawl, you can either decide to run, you can either decide to fly, and you can either decide to soar. So it just depends on you, how you want to go. You can use education, maybe from there get a job, then from your job get the money and start. That's up to you, but that was not me. I didn't see myself doing that. So why I was still looking for a second job, that's when I met my then partner. So there's another thing you need to realize. You might not have it all. You might say, I don't have the money, but do you have the skill? Do you have the resilience? Are you able to be the boots on ground? Are you able to be the hands on deck? Okay, so I didn't have the money, but I had time. I had knowledge, because I was also a property manager back in my own country. So I had a lot to bring on the table, but I didn't have a dime to my name. But what I did was that when you are prepared, when an opportunity comes, you will see it and you will grab it. One thing, I don't know how many of us, sorry, I just need to talk about this. One thing that's led me through is my faith in God. That has always directed me to be sensitive to when opportunity comes. So I went to look for this so-called security job, and that was the aim, that was the goal, only for me to get there. Apparently, the secretary had resigned a day before I came. So I noticed there was no secretary. And rather than me talking about going for the security job, I said, you don't have a secretary. Are you guys not looking for someone? And they were like, okay, do you? So I said, yes, I have the skills. I'm educated. I have this and I have that. They said, okay, right then and then they switched the interview and interviewed me for the role of a secretary. And I picked it up. When I picked it up, I did the secretary job for a while. It took me just 1 or 2 months to understand the process of the company, to know how liquid they were, to know who the person that caused the shot is. I was able to do that, and I immediately striked. I just went straight. I said, I was so bold, because I don't know if I will be able to do that now. I said, what's your goal for the next 5 years? And he looked at me and said, I don't understand. How can you be asking me that question? That's what he said. And I was like, no, I'm just asking for a reason and I want to say something. He said, okay. He gave me one I would call it a useless goal. Personally, he now knows it was a useless goal anyways. But at that time, I didn't point it out that way. I told him, I said, what's your goal? And he said, his goal is to do that. And I said, have you thought of going into real estate? And he was like, he has gone into that and he lost money. Someone duped him and he lost money. So he wasn't going to go into it. I said, okay, let's do this. So what if I'm able to go relearn? Because I actually know this, but I want to know how they do it over here. Go relearn and come back to you and let's see how we can partner. In the way for him to just dismiss me, he agreed to it. He wasn't going to come on board, but that was not but I didn't care. I was going to go do what I needed to do, get all the resources and come back. It took me 8 months. I went back to him and he said, oh, I'll just pull your legs. I'm not interested. I was so devastated and I said, okay, no problem. And 4 months down the line, which made it 1 year, he came back to me and said, I think we should go because I've been slammed into large tax from IRS, and I believe real estate will help me take that off. I said, okay, no problem. So that's how we started. So I started with single families. We started doing fix and flips. While we're doing that, we started doing multifamily alone. We're not syndicating. We're just JVs. We're both partners. And we started off before we decided to start partnering with people to start doing syndication. So if you look at my entire story, I'm taking out time to build up the momentum in our discussion for you to understand that you can literally start from wherever you are. So the pathway is, first of all, you need to realize where you are at the moment. Once you understand where you are, because money, when you have money, money is, I divide money into 4 things. You cannot invest when you've not had money to eat or for shelter. So I divide my money into 4 different parts: money for myself, money for people, money for investing, and money for saving. So if you have that kind of mindset, you should know that savings should be part, even if you earn $10, 2% of that $10 or 3% of that $10 should be diverted to investing. So how will a W-2 employee, a professional, I don't know where you guys or what you guys are doing. I want to assume that some of us are professionals, some of us have W-2, some of us are business owner. No matter where you are, the idea is for you to move from being a W-2 or a self-employed to becoming a business owner or becoming an investor. Multifamily gives you the ability to be both. You are going to be a business owner slash an investor, because multifamily is a business. It has the entire process of a business. It has the entire structure of a business. And the way it is structured, it's not, if one person, let's say, dies or one person goes, the business will still run. That is what you want to be. That's what you want. You don't want, when you pass on or when something happens or when you just decide to pivot to something else, this thing cannot continue without you. That is not what you want to do. You want things to keep going regardless of the fact if you are there or not. That is the opportunity multifamily brings on the table. It takes you from the W-2 quadrant and from the self-employed quadrant, and it brings you to the business owners and also to the investor owners quadrant. Now, what are the benefits, or how can you even start? You can start even as a W-2. I always tell people this: don't let go of your W-2 until you have your 4 feet down in multifamily. That is, the multifamily is able to replace your income times 3 times. Once you're able to get your multifamily investment to do that, then you can now retire. So whilst you are still doing your W-2, you can start up your journey, either as an active investor or as a passive investor. How? There are 2 parts in a multifamily business. I don't know how many of us are conversant with multifamily structure. But multifamily can be structured into 2 areas. We have the active partners and we have the limited partners. So I literally will tell you that the passive, the limited partners, those ones are for people that are very busy. That is, you have a W-2, you don't have the time, but maybe you earn some little money. You could literally afford $50,000, $2,500,000 and have that money work for you. Because one thing you want to do is that you want money to be the vehicle for you to make income. You don't want to be the vehicle for you to make income. And why do I say so? You know, when you don't show up, you don't get paid, except you are on a paid leave. Or a sick leave. If you are not doing any of them and you just decide not to show up, you will not be paid. But for us, that's not the case. For me, today I slept for 5 hours. I slept late, but I slept from 9 to, I don't know how many hours, 9 to 12 o'clock, I was on my bed. And that's some of the opportunities you might not have. I have that liberty. I can decide to show up and not to show up because I have my money working for me. That is how you want it. So now that you have a W-2, you can start up with that. You can decide that your little income or your little money you set aside for investment, you can take it, and while you're still doing your W-2, that money is working for you. And you keep repeating the process. Now, some of you will say, I don't earn so much to start that investment. What do I do? Most of us have 401ks. Some of us have IRAs. Do you know those monies are there sitting there? And the worst part of it is that inflation is eating it. And there is a talk around in the industry that is saying that they are going to, for 401ks, they might reduce the COLA system. What that means is that once they do that, it's going to affect the purchasing power. These things, you want to be in a place where someone will not just come and just change the entire process and you lose money. 401ks and W-2s will not do that for you. One question I would like to ask you, if you retire today and you have $1 million, do you think, and you're 60 years, let's say you're 60-year-old and your 401k will be worth $1 million at the time of your retirement? Thank you. COLA, cost of living adjustment. Thank you. That is it. Yeah. So if you have 1 million in 60 years, looking at inflation and looking at the state of the country, do you think 1 million will last you for the remaining part of your life? We are seeing that people are living longer in the US. That is not the same in my country. The life expectancy in my country is 47 years because of poverty, starvation, and all that. We have a different opportunity here to make things work for us. The life expectancy is very high. People live so long. And if you are in that category, you believe you're going to live so long, will 1 million even kick the bucket for just 3 years? It won't. By the time you calculate your mortgage and all that. So that means you need a plan B. So now the plan B can be you diverting your 401ks, your IRAs, and investing it in multifamily. Now, I will not tell you that multifamily does not come with its own issues. It comes with its own basket of problems. And that is why you need to invest with the right people. Many deals have failed, but there are good deals out there and there are good operators that are doing the job. All you need to do is do your due diligence and invest right. Then you reap the fruit. I have been able to get my network. My network is in millions. I can't even quantify. If I'm supposed to compare from where I started, -0 to where I am right now. And that was all done through multifamily, nothing else. And I'm not the only one. And I do with people like you. I do with people. My last deal, I did it with more than 161 people, 106 people were the investors, a lot of people. And the good part of it is that they're all going to double their investment. And that is what you want to do. So if you don't have money, there's no excuse. You have your IRA or you have your 401k. Let's assume you don't have everything I've mentioned. Then you need to put down the sweat equity. Now, for me, all these things I've mentioned, I did not have it. I didn't have them. No 401k, no IRAs, no W-2, no money, nothing. I was in zero. How did I start? I decided to put in sweat equity. Sweat equity is I'm going to do the leg work. I'm going to do all the things that someone bringing the money cannot do. I'm going to do it. And if possible, take less. Then when I grow, I will now readjust things. So I started my business with my business partner at 80-20. So I was taking 20% and he was taking 80% of our profit. But right now, that's not the case. It's 50-50. My last deal, it was 100%. I took 100% of it. So that is how beautiful it is that you can do that. So now the question is, I don't have any money. How am I going to do it? You have to get educated. You have to know it. Nobody's going to bring you in or offer you that if you are not bringing anything on the table. That is why education is the first thing you need to do for you to get into multifamily. You need to get educated. There are a lot of resources out there. I am somewhat against people that just go around shopping from one course to another, trying to get educated. I only have one, and I'm in the market blanks and community, and that's it. I don't believe in you being here, because what I see is that theory is different from the practical. Those things are kind of different from real life situation. Brenda, you've been on some of our calls, and you can say for a fact that what you are saying is different from what you were told. So that is true life stuff. So you want to get yourself educated, right education, not the wrong ones. They are free ones. I started with free education, and I didn't go to get a paid education until I was ready to have a community. So I started multifamily before I went to get paid education. And I had also a leverage while doing that. I didn't pay as much as newbies would pay. Newbies might have been paying 30 to 50,000 Guess how much I paid? I paid 4,000. And that was because I was coming in equipped and I was coming in for the community. And that is what you want to do. You want to take advantage of YouTube. You want to take advantage of free resources. We have events where we educate people for free. Get educated, then what that would do to you is going to expose you to what are your options. Because like I said, you need to understand where you are. Then after you understand where you are, you know where you are already. Get your education, then that will now broaden up exactly what you should do, where you can feature in. Then after you feature, after you that has exposed you, then you now step in. At that point, you throw yourself into the swimming pool and start off the journey. So you can literally start as an active or as a passive investor. I'm an active investor because I exchange my time for money. I do the boot work, I do the leg work, I do a lot of things in exchange for equity. You can do that, but you can't do that if you don't have the knowledge. So get educated for you to do that. Then if you know you don't have time, because it requires time, I spend a lot of time doing this. So if you don't have the time, then you need to have the money or have both. Right now, the level I am in, I'm doing both because I want to take advantage of all the opportunities that multifamily can bring. I'm putting in my money, I'm putting in my sweat equity, I'm doing both. So you get to that level where you can literally do both and you succeed. I don't know. I can go on and on and on. I don't know if there's still time. If you want me to talk a little more, I can. So do you want me to talk about how this work and the returns that people make from multifamily? Do you want me to share a little light about that or?
Yeah, you can definitely do that, Phoebe. So, if you want to give maybe a simple investment breakdown, that would be great.
Okay, yeah. So I'm going to give you guys a simple investment breakdown. One thing I want to make you understand is that there are 4 opportunities, 4 things you can get by investing in multifamily. And that is why it's unique from investing in stock market. I do not invest in stock market. Some of you might do that, but I do not because I don't like something that I cannot, how will I put it? It's based on assumption. Multifamily is not based on assumption, it's based on performance. What you put is what you get. Anything you do is what you will get. That is it. So it starts from the acquisition when you're buying it to your sale. So it's a continuous process. The effort you put in, the being sincere with yourself that you put in, those things are the things that will help you perform. That is why it's unique. So if I want my property to perform today, very well, I have to put in the job, buy it right, then operate it right, then I can exit right. That's it. There's no 2 ways about it. So for multifamily, you have 4 opportunities that some other investments will not give to you. You have the ability to have consistent cash flow. What is that? It means that because the income is gotten from the tenant, after we get the income, we pay off all our expenses. What is left is called cash flow. So that is a consistent cash flow. So if you have a good operator, cash flow would be consistent. But there are some times that maybe you have an unexpected event, maybe a tornado, maybe a natural disaster, something. Those are unique cases. But literally, you should be getting your what do you call it? Your cash flow every time. So number 1 thing you get is your cash flow. Number 2 thing is that you get appreciation. So remember I said multifamily is based on performance. It's not single family. That's why it's different from single family. Single family is based on comparables. That is, when I buy a property that is 100,000, if I decide to sell 2 years after, an appraiser will come in and the appraiser will evaluate the property, assess the property based on the sales in that area. That is how much my property is worth. But guess what? In multifamily, that's not it. I can have a next door neighbor with identical number of units, identical outside of external features, identical internal features. I can have that property right beside me. But if I operate it the way it should, and the other person decides not to operate it, you'll be surprised that when the same appraiser comes to appraise both properties, you'll be surprised that mine will be 2x the value and the other one might have even lost value. That is one beautiful thing about it. So Multifamily gives you appreciation because it's based on performance. So that is it. The second one is the tax benefit. As much as some of us might not like the big, beautiful bill, me for one, I have my concerns with it, but I'm also happy about another part of it, which is the tax benefit. Yes, we know that is really, really for the 1%, but if you're into multifamily, you are going to take advantage of that. Now that we have a passing through law, there's really nothing we can do. So are we going to sit down and cry? No, we have to take advantage of every opportunity that is open to us, and that is one of it. Multifamily will give you the opportunity to write off your tax 100% for at least for the next 5 years, and it's permanent, so it's not going to end. So, and the beautiful thing about that is that if I have, depending, because everybody's case is different in the way your house is structured, the business you do. So I would also advise you to speak to your tax, whoever is your tax representative, your CPA, speak to them. But for me, mine is a unique case because I do this full time. I don't pay taxes. I didn't pay taxes in 2023. I did not pay in 2022. I did not pay, just on and on. I've not paid taxes and I earn a lot. And these are legal ways that you can do it. How come people that earn the lowest pay the highest? W-2s pay the highest. Business owners and investors pay the lowest. Do you think it's a mistake? No, that's why I said you need to move yourself. You can have your W-2 and structure your family to take benefit of the way I take benefit of mine. You can do that. So multifamily will give you the ability to write off your taxes 100% because there's something we do called cost segregation. They will do a cost segregation and depreciate anything on that property that is below 20 years. And you can write it off in 1 year. Rather than breaking it down in 27.5 years, you collect it all in 1 year. That's one benefit, appreciation tax benefit. So those are the things you get from that. And how do you get them? There are things we call cash on cash. Cash on cash is literally the how much you've invested and the profits that you've gotten from it. So for example, someone told you, like me, I came to tell you that if you invest in this, you're going to have a cash on cash of 7%. So if you invest 100,000, it means that every year you'll be getting 7% of 100,000. Now there's a caveat on that. It means that average. So if someone comes to communicate to you that, oh, Kyle, okay, I'm looking at Kyle, he's right in front of me. Kyle, if you invest 100,000, I'm going to give you 7% average cash on cash. What that means is that the next question you should ask is, how many years are you going to hold on to the property? And the person says, I'm holding on to it 5 years. So what that means is within 5 years, the average of what you will get is 7%. It does not mean that every year is going to be 7%. It means an average. So year 1 might be 3%, year 2 might be 5%, year 3 might be 7%, year 3 might be 8%, but the average of it is 7%. So I really want you to understand that. Then the second thing that investors also look at is the IRR, that is internal rate of returns. Anyone that is like, you have a fix and flipper kind of mindset, that is, you want to get rich quick. If you have that kind of mindset that you want quick money, then you'll be concerned about IRR. That means the shorter the time that they're going to hold on to the money, the more better the returns for you. So, but if you're the type that is not particular about that, then there's no problem. There's another one called the average annual returns. So it's literally, everyone should be looking at how much do I get every year for my $100,000 or my $50,000 or my $25,000. So those are the different metrics that we use to measure returns in multifamily. One day is not enough for me too. I think they shared my link. I have videos that covers returns, payouts, structures, whatever it is that you can learn more for it. But the bottom line is, I want to leave you guys with this, that you have no excuse. For someone that immigrated to the US, had nothing, faced foreclosure, was homeless for 2 years, had no job, had no help, a single mother with 2 kids, and a depressed mom. What's your story? What's your excuse? You don't. So I'll leave you with that. Thank you all.
Great, thank you, Vivi. If anybody has questions, you can unmute yourself or you can put them in the chat and we'll answer them right now. Janice, it looks like you have your hand up. If you have a question, feel free to unmute and you could ask.
Yes, hi. Thank you, Bibi.
Hi.
Underwriting. How scary is learning underwriting?
Okay, underwriting is not scary. It just depends on your superpower. So for me, I'm very analytic. I like numbers. I've always loved numbers. If you see yourself loving numbers, you like numbers, you can easily understand it, go for it. Although everyone, as long as you're investing, you need to know the numbers. Even if it's on the surface level, you need to have a little idea so that you don't get tricked, because there are many fraudsters in this industry. If you're able to know the basic level of underwriting, that can really save you from mess. But for if you love it, I am an underwriter. I love it. It tells me the story. The numbers tells me if there is a red flag. If the numbers tells me what questions to ask. So I don't want you to be scared about it, as long as you have the drive, you have the ability to do it. Not everybody enjoy underwriting, but many of my colleagues, they leave the underwriting for me. In a team of 10 or 5, I'm the only underwriter on that team, and they just leave it. They just don't want to get involved. And yes, they are all doing well. They are all investors and having great equity. So you necessarily don't have to be an underwriter for you to, but have the basic. Everyone should have the basic understanding of what the numbers are.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bob, I see you have a hand up. Go for it.
Yeah. Hi, session today, very inspirational.
Thank
When you got started, what was your buy frame? You know, did you look for a particular number of doors? What was your thoughts in that particular area?
Yeah, so when I started, I started out of the knowledge I had. I started because I thought single family was the way to get me to my destination. I never knew that multifamily was an option, because when you look at it, you see, oh my God, it's for the billionaires, it's for the very rich. The 1% of the 1% are buying those properties, not for people like me. So it was based on the knowledge I had. That's why I started the single family. So to answer your question, I transitioned from a past knowledge to another knowledge. The more I got educated, the more I exposed myself to people like this, because I had to be in a room like this, the more I knew that there were other opportunities. And as well, I did not allow myself to remain in the same status quo. I always question my status. Like even till now, I'm questioning what should I be doing that I've not done. So for me, this year I was questioning myself. I've done this, I've done this. I should not be comfortable. What else should I be doing? I decided to write my book. I've written 2 books already. I decided to write 2 books on asset management and a full book on multifamily. And not just that, I'm building a platform for a course. It's going to be very affordable and people can easily learn, and all with my experience on how you can start. So for you, I will not answer you. I know maybe you're expecting me to answer you in a particular way. No, because mine did not happen straight. It was not straightforward. I got to transition from different ideas. Initially, it was single family. No, there are other ways. I went into multifamily. Later, I said, no, there are better ways of doing multifamily. I could syndicate. Okay, I went again. I started syndicating. So that's how you keep moving. So it just depends on you.
Maybe we have 2 questions in the chat box. We have one from Taylor. Taylor's asking, where do we go or how do we educate ourselves?
Oh, yeah. So it just depends on if you want to just dive into it. For me, I didn't have the money, so I could not afford to pay for anything. So I went to YouTube. So I will advise that start from there, know the basics first, so that when you get to, if you decide to not start paying, because you know the basics, you can easily vet the right platforms you should be paying for. So, but be careful. Some people just want money and they're not teaching what they're supposed to. Go to YouTube. It's a free YouTube channel. Go there and learn. There are a lot of resources. I have almost 300 videos there. And we're still updating it every day, sending in more things. So once you are done with that and you feel that you know a little bit than where you are right now, then move yourself. You can now decide to do one paid, don't do multiple because you'll be losing money. It's people just need your money. So you just have to be careful. I'll be sincere with you. Just one paid platform, go pay for it, get mentorship because you need the mentorship and you need the community of people that are on the same level with you or above you that are really ready to guide you. So that is what I would advise you to do. That's how to get started. Then the next question is, from your host, how do you find your management companies? Oh, I vet them. So I'm not in so many. I started out in 6 different markets all at once, and I learned my lesson that was not a good way to strive. This was going to be too much headache. So I decided to start investing in only 2 markets. So I invest in Texas and PA, Pennsylvania market for 2 different reasons, and they fit my requirement. So from there, I vet and I fire. The same way I vet, the same way I fire. Because I understand exactly what I want, if they're not giving me what I want, because talk is sweet, talk is cheap. Anybody can talk and say they are the best management company, but until you put them on the job, then you know that they really know nothing about the job. So if you know the job, it will be difficult for someone to deceive you. So because I know the job, it's difficult for me to see a bad property manager and still, because we always have a weekly meeting with them. So by the time I'm slamming you with questions every day, you will, if you're not good, it will be obvious. Everyone will know because you have to give us the right answer. So that's why on your team, you need to have someone that is experienced on it to ask the right questions. So there's a vetting process for property management companies, and then there's also a firing process for them. So while you are vetting them to hire them, be prepared to also fire them. Yeah.
A question here from Kevin. When do you know when it is time to sell a property?
Yes, this is a very good question. You know when it's time to sell property in different ways. One of the ways, number one way is the market. What's the market saying? So 3 years ago, we experienced a boom in housing. We saw properties doubling their value. And we saw interest rate at 0%. So people were getting interest rate at 2 point something or 3 point something. That was a signal for you to refinance or sell. So when interest rate is low and you have a very high, maybe you have high interest rate, that may be a signal for you to sell. So that is one. The market would have to direct you. It's very important. The number 2 reason is if you've executed your business plan and you've tapped out from all the opportunities, then you might need to exit. Exit meaning that you might need to refinance or you might need to sell. So that will also give you an opportunity. That means you bought a property and maybe your business plan was to do this, do that, and increase the rent to 1,500. And let's say 3 years down the line, you're able to increase it to 1,500. And the market, your competitors, that's the max you can get that property to. You can't increase it further than that. 2 things, you can decide to refinance or sell. But in that case, since there are no more opportunities for you to scale, that's a signal for you to sell. Another thing that you should know when to sell is if a market is declining. So there's something we always do. We always investigate the market. We call it market survey. We do that like every quarter because the market reacts easily. The way the market was in December is far from where it is right now. So if you're not observant of your market will be declining and you don't know that you should leave. I was in Cumberland in Maryland. That area used to be very, very good. in the sense that they had this manufacturing company for vehicles there. But something happened some years ago. The company left. The entire area plummeted. No jobs, houses were dilapidated, people were leaving because you have to follow, market follows the trend. Where are businesses going to? Where are people? Because where businesses are going to, people must go there because people need to do the job there. So you need to monitor the market. So when a market is declining, that's a signal that you have to sell fast. That's another one. And when a market is exploding, that might be a signal for you to leave where you are and move to that other market. Then the third one is, I hope I've not forgotten this. I just remembered it. There's a fourth one I would ask you to also consider. Oh, I've forgotten. If I remember, I will let you know. But the things I've mentioned are very, very important for you to know when to exit a market or when to sell a property.
Bob, you have your hand up?
Yeah, I was, yes, I was curious as to how long, maybe you normally keep your apartments. I know you're looking at the markets and everything, but I was curious, some folks out there say, look for 5 to 7 years, others are doing 2 to 3. So I was just curious as to what has worked out the best for you as far as holding the property lengthwise.
It's not a one size fits all. I will let you know. There are some properties that you want to hold on for 30 years, 20 years, 10 years. There's no one size. There's nothing that says you should hold a property for 10 years or 3 years. No. It depends on so many factors. Number one factor for me is one, the age of the property. If I'm buying a 2000 year vintage kind of property, and the numbers is telling me there are a lot of opportunities in that market. It's a growing market. The market is going to, because when we're buying properties, we're looking at the 10-year projection. We're looking at the 5-year history. We're checking what happened 5 years ago and what is likely to happen 10 years from now. Will things change? Yes, it might, but at least we're projecting that we know what it is. If a market is strong, and the asset is strong, it's a strong asset, and I can decide to hold on to that property for many years, more than 10 years. What I will keep doing is refinancing. So there's a property we bought in last year, December. That property, the seller refinanced that property 3 times before he sold it to us. Yeah, that was his first property, and that property was what he used to buy 8 other multifamily because he kept refinancing, pulling out money, buying another one. He'll improve on it again for a little while, go back, refinance, buy another one again. So he did that 3 times, and the 4th time he sold it to us, right? And that property is one of the best properties I have had to buy and all that. So my point here is there is no one size fits all. It depends. It depends on how your property is operating. It depends on the market. It depends on the vintage of the property. A very old property, you might not want to keep it for too long because of its age. Those ones literally normally will cash flow, but there's a lot of risk attached to it. For newer properties, they might, depending on what you bought, because I don't know what the person is buying, you can keep them for a longer time, maybe for an additional 40 years, 30 years. And keep going. That's just, it just depends on your risk preference. I did a video recently about your risk tolerance. So for people that like to stay long on property, that means your risk tolerance is very low. You'll be looking for new builds, newer assets, because it will take a longer time for you to recoup, to get back your returns. So if you're that kind of person, then whoever you are, you hold on to properties longer if the condition of the market is good. That means you might hold up to that property for 20, 30 years, really. All you need to just be refinancing it. But if you have a very high risk tolerance, you definitely shift towards Class C properties. Those are properties that are from 1970s, 1960s, low income houses, you want to go into that because the cash flow in those ones are much and you exit on time. The IRRs on them are high because it's a short-term hold. You can easily get back your money. So it just depends on who you are, how long you want to be in there for. That should direct the kind of investment you should put in your money into. You want to understand your person, what kind of risk that you can absorb. That's it.
Okay, Janice,
Do
you
you
have your-
visit all your properties first?
You said what? My properties are mixed, different classes, asset classes. I have I have 1960s, 1970s, 1980s, 1990s, 2000s. I have those assets, and they're all for different reasons. Yeah, so but there are like 3 of them that we're living for very long term. One of them, we bought one of them 2 years ago. We bought it for 13 million. Now we are refinancing 2 years after. Now it's 20 million. So we've added about 7 million equity on it. So it's undergoing we are in the refinancing process as we speak, and it's to be done in 60 days, right? So yeah, that particular property, we intend to refinance 3 times before we sell. And this is the first refi we are doing on that particular property. It's a 2009 vintage. Whereas another one we bought the same year, that one we intend to sell at the end of next year or early 2027. That is a very good, the cash flow is massive. Investors are getting their money as they should, but the vintage is 1968. I don't want to hold on to a 1968 property for 10 years. Some people might want to, but me personally, I won't. So I want to go in and come out for those type of assets. Yeah.
And Janice, you have a question?
Yes, I'm sorry. I wanted to pick your brain, Bibi, on what are your thoughts for beginners on starting with off market or dealing with agents or brokers?
My first thought is get educated. And let me tell you why. Education will expose you to a lot of errors, a lot of things, or how you should do it. Because multifamily is not the same as single family. They are different, even from the beginning. So for a single family, you literally get an off-market deal. You send an offer to the seller, correct? And you guys are under contract. No, you don't send an offer. You send a contract to the seller, and seller will counter if they need to, and you're under contract if they accept. But multifamily is different. You might get an off-market deal either from a broker or yourself, but you send out an LOI to the seller. You and the seller will go back and forth with it. When you both agree, you get a lawyer involved. You now do some legal paperwork before you now sign the PSA. So it's backwards in terms of multifamily. So to answer your question, I would say get educated first. That will let you know how to go about it. And multifamily is a team sport. It's not a one-man show. It's a combination of different skills coming together to buy a property. So for me, I'm the underwriter. I get the deal, but I have people that help me out with capital. I have people that can help me out with EMD. EMD is earnest money deposit. I have people that can help me out with boots on ground. I have people that can help me with CapEx, someone that will help me supervise when they're doing CapEx. So it's a team sport. It's a group of people coming to buy one property. So to answer your question, education will tell you exactly where you should align yourself with. Are you analytical? If you're analytical, then you should be under the acquisition part, which is the underwriting and other aspect, due diligence and all that. But if you're a friendly person, you know people, you have a network of friends, you should be looking at customer relations and capital raising. So it just depends on where you are. So that's the only way I can answer your question, is for you to get educated, to understand where you fit into the bigger pie.
Thank you.
We'll take one more. We have a question in the chat from Kevin. When you get capped out with rent, do you transition to short-term rentals or midterm rentals to get more money?
Oh no. When you are capped up with rent, that's a signal that you need to exit. Either you sell or you refi. So, or you wait it out, because over time the market might shift upwards again, and then you might be able to increase your rent again and all that. So, but no, switching to short-term rental. That's why I said multifamily is not short, is not a single family kind of approach. They are two different things. Single family is here, multifamily is somewhere else. They are two different. You can't quantify them. They are not the same business. So, you can't even convert a you can, but you cannot easily convert a multifamily to become short-term renter. Although people do it, but that is not a solution in this case. No, rather you either you exit from it or you wait it out and allow the market, because the market might grow. If you're in a good market, it's likely to grow in some years to come. So a market in 2023 is not the same market as 2024. The people would have increased the rent by $100, $50, $20. So you might just wait it out and get it, or sell or refi, whatever that is for you.
Great. Well, Vivi, thanks so much for joining us tonight. And for everybody who wants to get in touch with Vivi, there's the link for her link tree in the chat. So we thank you for joining us tonight. And we thank everybody for coming. We'll see you back next month on the 4th Wednesday. We have another great speaker who's going to be doing a multifamily case study next month.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
Phoebe.
you all. Thank you all. Thank you for having me.
Good night. Thank you.